Hiya, it's Gaz here from Moth Creaturae. I'm in uniform today for this post. It's Armed Forces Day. A time forward to appreciate or show our appreciation for the sacrifices made by those that are serving, veteran community and the fallen, all to ensure that all of our families, everyone else, has got like a sort of a safe, relatively safe quality of life. Obviously I'm still in, and I figured rather than sharing Ali photo of my time in the job, I'd do this video today in my uniform. It's probably it's my last year in the army, so I'll be getting out shortly. But what I want to share with you today was it's something that I'm always contemplating stuff, right? But like life, if you think of life as parachuting, bear with us. So parachuting, those of you that do parachuting, whatever type of parachuting you do, and those of you that never done it, bear with us, I'll talk you through it. So life and parachuting. So parachuting, you go through a series of checks, right, before you board the aircraft, if you jump from an aircraft, and very quickly skim over this. The light goes on and you go out the door and it's exhilarating. You've got pure excitement. You're falling. And you have to make decisions quick. But to help you make these decisions quick, you have drills. You're not just winging it. You're not just going out there not knowing what you're doing. So you have drills. You practice these drills beforehand, which help you make these decisions. So while all this madness is going on, blurriness because you're traveling like bloody, I don't know what sort of speed, but you can help slow things down because in your head you've got drills. Without these drills, it'd be insane. It'd just be so quick and overwhelming. You wouldn't have a clue what's going on. So you can enjoy that because you have these drills in place. So you can actually enjoy the experience of the madness. Then when your canopy opens, and the noise stops and you've got like pure bliss, pure calm, everything slows down, or it should, and that's what we'll come on to. Then as you're traveling down a lot slower than what you were, you can enjoy the views, you can take it all in. You've still got drills, you're still thinking things through. You're not just coming down like, taking it all in, not having a clue what's going on, like a passenger in life. You're still very much in control, right? But because you've got the drills, you can enjoy what's going on around you. You can take in the sights, you can take in the scenery. And then you plan your approach for your landing, which means that you start re-engaging, stop the whole sort of being a tourist and looking around. You start engaging in what it is you're actually doing. So you take a lot of control, like overtly, instead of before where you know what's going on and you're in control and you've got your what if drills. But now you're sort of coming into land, you're very much taking control of it. Now, if you don't act, you do have a lot of time for this, but if you don't act when you need to, what happens is that time slips away. So it's like when you're driving a car, if you leave a load of distance between you and the car in front, you've got more time to react. If you drive right up the arse of the car in front, you ain't got no time to react. You're just gonna have to take what's coming to you. And that's the same with the parachuting. So if you don't plan and you just leave it and you just kept on mulling away, taking in the scenery, you're going to hit the floor quite quick. You're not going to have time to plan for what's coming. So you've got to take the landing that you get instead of, trying to pursue the landing you want. And then you're on the floor, you've landed. And, you take a few moments just to sort of soak up, enjoy what you've just done. And then when I say it's a few moments, it might seem like a long time, but it's probably nanoseconds, but then you sort your kit out, grab your kit in, and while you're grabbing your kit in, your brain's already going through, what you've just done, but not in an enjoying sort of way, but almost like a reflective way where you're thinking, what could I have improved about that bit? What did I knack up there? Not beating yourself up, just thinking how you can improve it for next time. So there's life. And what I mean by that is you've got a series of really intense, exciting moments when you come out the aircraft. That's like life. You've got a lot of sort of just calmness. That's life. You're not living in the bloody rev limiter all the time. You're not free falling your whole life, are you? Because you'd end up having a stroke or a heart attack by the time you're 20 or something. So you have these moments that are sort of really charged and fast paced, but the rest of it will all be quite sort of enjoyable. Enough time to take in what's going on around you. And you can be a passenger in life and just like sort of take it in and take each day as it comes, you know, be like, yeah. But what's going to happen is the inevitable. So if you imagine, you know, mortality solace, if you imagine the box at the end of the ride that we've got, you know, born, we die. That's the life cycle. That's what happens. We accept it. Accepting it's not doom and gloom. Accepting it means that we can enjoy the period in between, make the most of it, not just dwelling on the fact that it's going to happen. But if you're a passenger in life, that's going to approach you quite quick. You ain't going to see it coming. It's going to happen. If you plan through your life, you know, you make your best plans so you can think about how you're going to enjoy things. Well, when that day comes, you'll never feel like you've wasted anything. You never feel like you've wasted an opportunity. You get there, it's like, yeah, you accept that it's part of the thing. It's not going to hit you like a wet fish in the face like you didn't see coming. But I suppose you also have the opportunity to sort of react should the need take place, you know. So you plan as best you can, but like you're landing, you know, if you maybe haven't got onto it as quickly as you should have, you know, and so you're not reacting to things as quickly as you should, things are going to speed up and you're going to have to react quicker, and that's when a bit of a sort of survival mechanism kicks in, you know. Now, if you think that's life, right, so it's got all them different sort of areas that we're just waffling on about, but then if you think about your mental health, if you think your mental health almost like your canopy, the parachute canopy. So before you go out, before you even get on the aircraft, you do checks, check everything about it. You do your own drills, you do going through practices, you're going through a load of what ifs. So that's like you planning for life. That's like you sort of, well, it's planning for your jump in it, but well, effectively planning for your life as well. But if you just chin that off and just were one of these passengers in life, you're not going to have a clue when something goes wrong. But when you've got these plans, it doesn't mean that you're going to, you know, hit the nail on the head. It doesn't mean that you're going to sort of 100% get out the situation that you might find yourself in. It just means that you've got a better chance of getting out of that situation that you might find yourself in. Does that make sense? So you do checks, and it's all to reassure you that what's going on around you is kosher and it makes sense to you. Then when you go out the door, and things is happening like sort of super fast, and your decision making's got to speed up, and everything around you is like sort of berserk. You've still got these drills there to reassure you, keep you calm, and that's like with mental health. So when a situation unfolds, we can't change what's happening with the situation, right? If it's a third party, if it's a person, you know, that's causing us some grief or something, situation that's causing some grief, we can't change it. That is what's going to happen. Just like when you go out the door fast, parachuting. But what we can do is we can control how we react to it. And this has took me a long time to learn this lesson. Choose how we react to it. We can react all in a flap. And if you react in a flap, things probably aren't going to go well, because you're not going to do the logical things. You're going to think emotionally. You're going to think sort of without sort of thinking of the after effect, you know. So if you just slow things down, try and think of things logically, then you can probably find yourself out of that situation, just like with your drills for the parachuting. So if something goes wrong, but it's happening in sort of Mach 10, you've got your drills, you slow everything down in your brain. And when I say slow things down, you've got vital moments, you know, but these drills help you to make the right decision during these vital moments. Now, when you're coming down, you're doing checks under your canopy. So your canopy's opened and you're looking up above you. You make sure you're in your own space as well, but you're looking up above you and you're looking for like holes and rips and tears in your canopy. Things that are going to affect you getting down safely. You're looking for twists. You're looking for lines over the top. You're looking for all this sort of stuff that's going to, you know, potentially jeopardize your safe landing, your safe flight. And if you can't see anything wrong, everything looks good, and you're looking around to assess your drift out with the wind, and you're also looking around to assess the speed that you're falling. If you see blokes in the sky or lasses in the sky, and they're falling faster than you, well, that's a time to relish. That means you're going down slower. So that means you've hit one of these. It's called a thermal. It's like a pocket of hot air in the sky, in the air. Enjoy it, because that's what happens in life. Sometimes you'll ride a high. You don't know when it's going to stop, but enjoy it when it's there. No, it's not going to last forever, but enjoy it while it's there. But if you're coming down quicker than all these other people, then there's something wrong. And you need to start thinking now, everything looks all right. Parachute looks all right. There's no twists, there's no line overs, there's no holes, rips, tears. But I'm still coming down really quick. A lot quicker than I should be, a lot quicker than everyone else around us. Now you could think all of them people have got thermals, but the likeliness is they haven't. You're coming down a lot quicker, and you're going to know in your gut that you're coming down quicker. And this is when you can start thinking, right, well, everything looks all right. I'm just going to screw the nut for myself. I'm just going to come down. Everything looks all right. No, I'm adamant. Everything's all right. And then what happens is you come in for a really hard landing. You might really hurt yourself, or worse, and end that ride a lot quicker. Or you can come down and you can think, I'm coming down a lot quicker than everyone else. Everything looks all right, but it doesn't feel right. There's something not quite right about it. I can't put my finger on it. And you can start going through these drills, and you can think, if I'm not happy with this, I'm going to deploy a reserve. Whether that means you deploy a reserve with this one, or whether it means you cut away and then you deploy a reserve, whatever it means. No one can tell you you're right or wrong, but what you're doing is you're taking active measures to try and make sure that you're okay. Because something's telling you something, and it mightn't be too obvious, but something's telling you that things aren't okay. Now, with mental health, sometimes we're the last people to find out that there's something actually going on in our heads. And if you don't take a sort of corrective measure, if you don't sort of look in the mirror one day and just think, you might not be able to put your finger on it. A few weeks ago, I did a podcast with Hugh from HR Podcast. First time I'd done a podcast. It was really good experience. Really enjoyed it. Hugh was an awesome host. And while we were chatting about like sort of issues that sort of get to it. And Hugh mentioned, I can't quote him, I can't remember the exact words, but he mentioned about sometimes we're not able to identify the sort of root cause. And that can be an issue. But what we can do, just like the parachute canopy, we can't identify maybe the exact fault, but we know that something's not right. Because we can look around those around us. And in life, we can look around those that are around us, and they're going to give us indications that things aren't right. They're going to tell us. They're going to maybe start distancing themselves from us. If they're friends, and they don't want to be around this negative Nelly all the time, because we've all been there. And if that happens and you're looking around and things are changing with, what is normally like quite sort of predictable, even if you can't put your finger on what it is, you need to take some sort of corrective measure. And in life, you need to deploy your reserve. And your reserve is you ask for help. And whether that's you ask for help with the people around you, or maybe you feel you can't. So maybe you just go and you ring one of the sort of many sort of helpline numbers, whether it be Samaritans or someone else like this, Mind. You ring one of these people, or if it's veterans, there's plenty, or army, there's military, there's plenty military options there for you to call. I'll put the link in the comments below. But my point is, reach out to someone that doesn't know you then, if that makes you feel better. And just talk through things in your life with that person. That person might be able to pinpoint exactly what that problem is. Your parachute might look cool. It's got no holes, rips and tears, but there might be something wrong with it that you can't identify. And that person is an outsider looking in, they might be able to. So yeah, it's not about doom and gloom. I wanted to share my thoughts on this. It's relevant for everyone, whether you wear a uniform or whether you don't. Big part of my Moth Creaturae community, or our Moth Creaturae community, is about sharing with each other, trying to inspire each other. For me, being creative in my life, that helped me sort of live a more positive lifestyle, I suppose. See things a little bit more positively. I shared a post on my story the other day, and it was brilliant. It really was. 40 seconds it was. And it was a couple of celebrities. I can't even remember their names, you know. Shocking. I'll try and find out and put their names in the link in the comments below. But it was so pertinent. And one of them, they've been in loads of movies, man. Like gangster type movies, American type movies. But one of them was saying, and they weren't acting, they were talking like, you know, not on script, it was them talking. But one of them was saying about like sort of how, you know, being around positive people is great. But a positive person can't, no matter how hard they try, pull a negative person up. They can't. They can try and try and try, no matter how good they think they are doing that, they can't do it. But a negative person can pull a positive person down very quickly. A positive person will try and stay upbeat and try and be like, understand why this is happening and try and understand why the person's having this effect on them. But because they're positive, they're never going to give up on this negative person. And what's going to happen is the negativity is going to just cross-pollinate. It's going to get across to the positive person. So his advice was he stays away from negative people. And yes, in a black and white way of thinking, you have to do that. You have to survive. But also, there's a sort of a grey area there. Because if everyone did that, the world would be shit. Be full of fucking negative people. Because sooner or later, everyone is going to come to a time in their life which is shit and hard to deal with. And they could be perceived as being negative when really they're not. They're just going through some shit and they need some support. So my advice on that video that I shared is probably more akin to, yes, there is those people that will be morale hoovers, right? Wish them well. The ones that aren't in your life, but you know they'll post negative shit on the internet, all this type of stuff, right? Steer away from them. Like parachuting, steer away from them. But those people in your life and around you, you know those people. If you've seen a glimpse of positivity in that person at some point in their life, you know that they can be positive. You know that person's frame of mind. Likewise, if you see them changing, being more negative, be there for them like they were for you. Just like that bloke who's parachuting and everyone else is in the sky floating around. If you're coming down too quick and you don't even recognise what's going on, if you're one of these other parachutists in the sky and you can see this guy's falling faster than you, shout out to him. What are you doing? Get on your reserve. Shout out to him. Make him aware of what's going on. Right, well, that's enough anyway. 18.5 minutes I've kept you for today. Enjoy the rest of your day. To those that are serving, to those that are veterans, tip top. Awesome. All the best. Bye.